Hi, my name is David. Now let me explain. I want to ruin horror for you. And I have to put emphasis on the OR at the end of horror because when I speak, it just sounds horrible. So, from darkness to ducks, from stairs to spiders, from depth to death, fear comes in so many different fashions, and I'm here to discuss all of them today. But first, let's talk about phobias, and specifically what phobia means. Phobia, for the actual definition, is an abnormal, extreme type of fear towards something, and sometimes is unjustified or doesn't really have a big reason to why you should fear this thing. I mean, can you justify your terror towards geese? I don't think so. Or can you? If I were to try to take a guess, I'm no doctor, I'm no psychologist, but if I were to take a guess on why you feared something, it was probably because of your past. If you, for example, were scared of geese, it was probably because of a past scare that you had. When you're younger and you see, maybe you walk in front of a spider web, you're scared of spiders because you have been taught to fear these things. And some people have had close encounters with these types of things, like how spiders, maybe you had one on your face and you started to scream and you had this terror fill up inside you. Your mind is consistently going to remind you, hey, don't mess with those. Most of the time, sometimes it can come out of a TV show, or it can come out of somebody telling you a scary story at a campsite, or specifically just an event that happened, like the spider scenario. Take, for instance, for another example, a mildly more realistic example. I don't know how many people fear geese, but I know some people fear dogs a lot. Dogs, for example, maybe back in your childhood, you got attacked by a dog, and now you fear dogs. I knew a man who I was showing him a car, and he straight up jumped behind me and said, I do not like dogs. And it was my wiener dog, Sally, that walked out of the house. And he literally grabbed my shoulder and jumped behind me because he was so scared of dogs. And I'm sure maybe a German Shepherd attacked him when he was younger. Who knows? But that is just kind of how people find things scary. That is kind of something I've always thought about, of what is phobias, what makes people tick, what makes people crawl in their skin, what makes people jump back in horror. But what makes certain fears, let's go a small layer deeper than phobias. Let's go, why is something scary? Why are we scared of these things? Let's take the geese, for example. Let's keep on going with the geese. You have to find a pattern between it all. Why are you scared of, let's say, these phobias? Geese, mascots, spiders, snakes, heights, the ocean. Why are you scared of them? Let's think about it. All of them are going to help link it. And it is, what is going to happen? What is going to happen when the spider bites me? What is going to happen when the snake bites me? What is going to happen if I get too close to the snake? Why is that mascot looking at me? Why? What kind of intent is going on behind that mascot's eyes? What lies beneath the waves of the ocean? It all comes down to the why, and specifically the questions that revolve around it. And if you have the answer to every single one of those questions, more than likely, it's straight up going to be, I don't know. Truly, if you found something in the wild, you don't know. If you were, let's say, floating and you looked and you saw the Pacific Ocean and you just see the waves and someone asks you, what is under those waves? You could say fish. Where? Camera's not focusing. Here we go. You could see, where? Where are they? Where are these fish? And then in the end, it's like, I don't know. I can't see them. What is going to happen when I get too close to the snake? I don't know. What is going to happen when I get too close to the spider? I don't know. And truly, I think it was said best by, let me look this up. H.P. Lovecraft did have an influence on fearing the unknown, but it was also who discovered it. We're going to go with H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft, the controversial man himself who named his cat a very, very disturbing thing. Don't look it up, it's horrible, and you will probably be put on a watch list. H.P. Lovecraft said it best, because if you do not know how H.P. Lovecraft works, H.P. Lovecraft has books about the Cthulhu mythos, and a lot of it is around the unknown, basically. He will say, this is so indescribable, but then he describes it, which is kind of funny. But a lot of it does come from, why are we fearing this? Because we do not know. Why are there rats scratching on the walls? I don't know. And then when you figure out why, that is the scary part. For example, in horror movies, why is this nun chasing me? That is the unknown part. That is the scarier part of it all. Why is this creature of the mountains chasing me? What is he going to do when it gets to me? We don't know. And most of the time, we're going to assume the worst of it if it's sprinting at you and it's yelling and screaming at you. Then it's probably a bad thing, because most of the time, it's going to be bad when that happens. So yeah. If, for example, to kind of wrap this up in a neat little bow, oh my god, camera focus. If you can wrap this up in a neat little bow, then if you had the answer to basically everything, then fear would go away. Think about it. Think about one more fear with me. If you were in a field and you hear rustling within those wheat stalks, you have no flashlight, you have no weapon. The only thing you have is one answer to one question. And you ask, is that thing going to hurt me? Or is that thing dangerous? Am I going to get hurt? What is in that crop? Your fear goes down a little bit because you know what's going on in there. So, thank you so much for watching. I love horror movies, and I love the thought of how horror movies can truly influence a person. It may be sadism a little bit. I hope not. It may be that I am a sociopath, but who knows, honestly. But thank you all so much for watching. You're always welcome back. And I hopefully will see you in the next one. Goodbye.